Hey guys, here we are back with another Will It Work video. This is the Tram Titan IV CB radio, 23 channel, upper lower sideband AM. This was practically the latest or the last tram base station that was a real tram made base station that they produced, and this is actually a hybrid rig. It has one tube in it that is for the final. Everything else is solid state. The radio has a channel selector and a VFO. Unlike the Tram D201, D201A, you cannot switch between the two. The channel selector, that's the click style, operates the transmitter. The VFO operates the receiver. So there's no switch to switch back between the two. So this radio was made in the early 70s, I think 71, 72, 73, somewhere in that range. And like I say, this was the last of the base stations that I know of that Tram actually built. Now there was another radio after this one, and that was the Tram D300. But what that basically was a rebranded Uniden Cobra 2000. That just had a different case, a flat front end instead of the traditional wedge Cobra type. But you know, it was a good radio, don't get me wrong. In fact, I had one of them. Got rid of it. I've had several of them and got rid of it, and I don't have any more of them. But you know, the old Trams was like the Cadillac of CB radios. The D201, D201As was about the closest thing you could get to plate modulated radios in the CB line. Also, you will see that the Trams have a superb receiver on them. They're some of the hottest receivers I have seen. It's been in these Trams radios. Even the Titan IV, you're going to see, has a excellent receiver on it. So let's go ahead and get right into it, see if we can get this whole thing together. A friend of mine found this at somebody's house going through some stuff, and he actually was able to pick it up from them and wanted me to have a look at it and see if we can get the old girl running. Now I'm not sure how my audio sounds this time. I am using OBS Studio and the webcam mic, the web cameras, and I also have picked up a clip-on microphone that just plugs in. It's USB mic. And I know the last couple of times I did videos using OSB, a couple of people mentioned that the audio wasn't as loud. Well, that's, you know, because a lot of times these little cameras, as you can see, the one that's looking at me is right here, and you know, the microphone is facing me on that one, but when I turn my head and I'm doing something else, or when I'm moving the cameras around, the audio gets a little low. So we're going to try out this clip-on mic and see how the audio is. Alright guys, so I know the radio has already been plugged in and tested, and what you said it wasn't working, come on, but it did not work. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and power it on. I do have it on the isolation transformer. I'm not going to bring it up on the Variac. I think there's like 375 volts that goes to this one tube that's in the transmitter, so we should be okay with that. If not, the current limiting supply will kick in. So let's go ahead and reach down and we'll turn this on. And as you see, we already got audio. So this is hashing the receiver. Bring this up to channel 20. And you got a spot switch. I got the channel selector on channel 20. So you hit the spot switch, and yes, our meter is going over. And what you do is peek this out. That's pretty accurate already. If you look right under the 20, you see a little white spot. Yeah, looking right under the 20, you see that little white spot. When I hit spot and tune it, you can see that white spot go away. Comes in a little window there. And when the little white indicator comes up, it pretty much peaked out on the S meter. Now, what does this tell us? This tells us that the transmitter is working and the receiver is working. Okay, I got the signal generator set up on 27.205. I'm going to turn the RF on. I got it at minus 77 dBm. Seeing the S meter came up. And that's not bad. That's receiving, what's that showing? About an S6. A little over S6. And it's alright, that's minus 97 dBm. We have just a little over S5. Minus 107. And as you can hear, it's still receiving. We had a S3 at minus 107 dBm. I ain't got much more ranges on this signal generator to go. That's minus 117. I'm not showing nothing on the S meter, but I can still hear the 1000 hertz tone in there. And I got one more setting on this. That's minus 127 dBm. And yes, it's still there. Very, very impressed with these receivers on these things, man. It's just amazing. I don't know what's been done to this radio or how long it's been sitting, not working, but you can see the receiver is great. I guess now we just need to see if the transmitter works. Okay, we are looking at the watt meter. Got that connected to the radio. Make sure everything's set right. You know, I didn't even check the RF gain. Yeah, and it's up all the way, so that's good. I'll key the radio. We're on the 20 watt scale, and you can see it just is raising the meter up just a little bit. Hello, test 1, 2. Audio, audio. And it's showing about 1 watt on AM. A little bit of upper sideband. Check 1, 2. Audio, nothing on upper sideband. Lower sideband. Hello, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. No deflection whatsoever on single sideband. But hey, AM is working just a little bit. I guess now what we'll do is go ahead and get the case off this thing and have a look inside of it. Go ahead and disconnect the microphone. Put the radio up to the side. Disconnect the power cable. And the antenna. And to get in this, you can see there's 3 screws here. One here, here. There's one up on top there. Right there. And I'll go ahead and remove these screws, and then we should be able to slip this thing right out of the cabinet. Alright guys, got the covers off, and wow, this thing is very dirty inside. It's got a lot of dust in it, and a few cobwebs here and there. But you know, looking at this thing, just glancing over the top of it, I cannot see anything that has been replaced in this radio. You can see a power supply over here. This is a 502. That's a 6G M5 that they used in this, and you see the rest of it is completely solid state. You know, channel selector here, a VFO over here. S meter, this is your main board. I think this board here has to do with your balance modulator and some regulators for single sideband. Very simple construction. You see there's 3 crystals over here. These are for AM upper and lower sideband. And right here in the middle, this is one thing that I've always liked about these radios. If you look at that, that is a Collins mechanical filter. And this is the one reason why these radios sound so good on receive, is that they use a Collins filter in the receiver. Yeah, but just looking here, you can see just how dusty everything is. So this is going to have to be taken outside and cleaned properly. And it looks like most of it's just going to brush off, but yeah, it's really dirty. Alright, so here's a shot from the bottom side, and you see it's a lot of wearing, a lot of resistors. A bridge rectifier sitting here. I don't know if that's factory or just was added. I'll have to look at the schematic and see. But here's the 23 crystals for the transmitter, sitting right here in the middle. And there's our trimmers for those 3 crystals that I was telling you about on the other side for AM upper and lower sideband. Let's see what else here. I'm looking at the wafer switches, and they are black. All the terminals are very black on it. Okay, I'm sitting here looking at the SAMs and comparing it to the bottom of this radio. You can see this section over here where the this bridge rectifier is mounted, and here it is on the bottom view layout. And looking there, I do not see that bridge rectifier. You know, there's a fuse here and here, and this bridge rectifier is somewhere over this area here. I'm seeing 2 big resistors. You can see the 1 5-watt resistor that's here, over here, and you can see another 5-watt resistor that should be this one. Has been changed out to a different style resistor, a precision resistor. So, you know, looking at this right here, the installation looks great. The soldering is excellent. It's matching the rest of the radio, but I highly doubt that this radio came with a bridge rectifier in it. So this had to have been added at a later date. I'm not sure why they did this, but yeah, I think this is a little bit too modern for this radio. So, you know, that's an indicator. But hey, you know, it's a bridge rectifier. It's more modern than what was normally in there. And we can see there's another bridge rectifier here that's got your traditional 4 diodes there. And you can see the 4 diodes here for this part of the rectifier. Let's get this thing cleaned up a little bit and see if we can get this transmitter working as good as the receiver is. Alright guys, I got a lot of that loose dust out of the radio. It looks a lot better than it did. And I want to address the issue here with the transmitter. See if we can figure out what's going on with it. It could be the driver is bad. It could be the final tube is bad or way down. We don't know yet. I do know the transmit modulator is working because we saw the estimator come up to 1 watt when we were speaking into it, so we know that part works. So let's look at something here. Okay guys, if you hear any noise in the background, you have the air conditioning running. It's like 100 degrees out there today. And I'm looking at the VU meter and it is picking up the air conditioning. But got to keep it a little cool in here so I can work. We got the spectrum analyzer in line, as you can see. And let's keep the microphone and see what we're seeing here. You see that's a strong signal on that spectrum analyzer. It's showing minus 20 dBm. That's a very strong signal. So that makes me wonder, is there a tuning issue that's going on in this radio? Okay guys, we got the spectrum analyzer hooked up. You can see it there on the screen. And I just wanted to look at this transmitter. It's keying less than a watt, about a quarter watt according to the watt meter. And let's see what we look like on the spectrum analyzer. And you can see there's a very strong signal there. We have about minus 20 dBm. So what does that tell me? That tells me that it seems like the transmitter's working, but is it in tune? Has it been tuned up properly? We don't know. Let's take a look at that and see. Okay, so you can see on the back of the radio we have a load control and a tune control. And normally what you do when you take this into your house, you tune this thing to your antenna. Now we're tuning to a dummy load, and it should be somewhere close, but regardless of that, whoever used this last may have this tuned to their antenna, and perhaps that's why we're not seeing that much wattage out. So what we're going to do is tune the load and the tune control and see if that brings the wattage up. Okay, so what you would normally do is set the radio on AM, channel 11, which is about mid-band, and tune the load and the tune for maximum output when you key the radio. I'm going to just leave it on channel 20. We can tune it again later because it's going to need a good tune-up anyway. You can see a watt meter, key the radio. Look at that. Go back to our tune. That's pretty much peaked up right there, 3 watts. Try to load one more time. A little over 3 watts, and the tune for the last time. Okay, that made a tremendous difference to the radio transmitter. Alright, let's give it a little modulation, see what it does. Like I said, we got a key of about 3 and maybe a 1/8 of a watt. Audio. Yeah, if you watch the meter real closely, audio. You see the meter go up above about 4.5, and then it goes back down to 4. That's the limiter kicking in, just like it's supposed to do, to keep it, you know, under 100% modulation. Audio, 1, 2, audio. That's exactly how that's supposed to work. It probably needs to be adjusted. I imagine everything is out of alignment anyway. But we're going to check single sideband. See, when we go to upper sideband, light starts glowing. Hello, check 1, 2. Hello. Audio, audio. No output on single sideband. Audio. That was upper side. Let's try lower side. Audio. Audio. Yeah, we got a little bit there. Audio. So we do have transmit on lower, but there's nothing on upper sideband. And when I see something like that, that makes me wonder if this mode switch is got so much oxidation on it that it's not going into upper sideband. And to give you just an idea of how dirty it is, you can see that all the metal, the contacts, the ring, everything is completely black in this thing. So, you know, yeah, that could keep it from working. So all that's going to have to be cleaned up, and see if that does it. Alright guys, so all I did was just use some deoxit and put on those wafer switches and rotated it back and forth a bit just to see what it does. Alright, we'll go back and we'll start with AM again. Hello, check. Audio, audio. AM's working. We know lower sideband was working before. Audio, audio. It's still working. Now let's go to upper sideband. Audio, look at that. Audio. Yep, upper sideband is now working. So guys, that shows you just how these things corrode like that. Will cause you know, intermittents on different things. If you have a look at this wafer here on the very rear of the radio, this controls for your power meter and S meter and everything. You can see just how black that is. I mean, it is very black. So that's all that's going to have to be probably use some Tornex and get in there and clean all this stuff up. Looking here at the back of the channel selector, all that, the ring around it and the contacts are completely black and oxidized on that, so all that's going to have to be cleaned up. So the variable capacitor looks real good. It's not corroded that bad. You can see this lamp here. Let's see if I move around to the back. You can see how this metal has oxidized, and you see how the back of the variable capacitor for the receiver has oxidized. You know, all that stuff needs to be cleaned off. So one good thing about that mode switch, you can see we can also access the top of it from the top side of the radio to clean the top contacts. That's going to be kind of easy to get to. So guys, you know, this is very impressive to me. This radio, roughly 50 years old now, something like that. Is looking at this thing, I think it has very, very, very low hours on it. Now, how do I know this? Well, if you look at the controls, something I see all the time on old vintage radios like this, when people go to grab a control, they'll let their finger ride on the faceplate. And looking at all the lettering here on the front of the radio. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing any of the lettering wore off or any marks around it where someone's finger has rubbed it. It's just dirty. If you look at all the lettering here on the front, on the black panels, all looks good. We do have a little, like I don't know if that's a nick or it's dirt on it. There is a bit of a scratch over here over the top of the speaker. The speaker grill's not dented in. It looks real good. I say it's got very, very low hours. This radio has not been used much since it was bought. So look here, the tag on the back of the radio. You see Tram Corporation, Tram Titan IV, Citizen Radio Service, Class D. And looking in here on this side, it's a serial number 9357. And you know, even the back of the radio looks real good. I like this brush look on this thing. Yeah, so guys, you know, this radio like this here, it deserves to be brought back to life. We got two metal can capacitors. There's quite a few small electrolytic capacitors on the circuit boards. We have say 1, 2, 3 electrolytics underneath the bottom. You know, might as well change those out. I hear a lot of people, no matter if it ain't bad, don't change them. Well, if they go bad, it can cause some damage. So yeah, they need to be replaced. 50-year-old capacitors, they don't need to stay in there. This isn't a space shuttle. They need to be replaced if you want to use this thing. Now, if you want for it to be a shelf queen, just clean it up, put it on the shelf. Don't worry about doing anything. But you know, I'm going to replace all these caps. Now guys, I'll tell you this this wooden case, this thing is heavy. It's got a little bit of weight to it. The vinyl cover on the top looks pretty good. It's going to need a good brushing. It's not all nicked up around the front of it that bad. The bottom looks pretty good. I don't see no broken wood. Now there's a couple little problems. You see this corner right here is chipped and some wood missing. A little bit right here is missing, but the other side there's a little nick here, and you see this corner has been hit and busted off, and even the bottom down here. See if we can come up with a way to fix this and try to repair this and keep it original looking. I don't think it would be too hard to do. I do see the face right here just getting ready to come off. You see it right there sticking up. And that's going to need to be fixed here pretty soon so it don't break off completely. So when I did that, keep it from being mossed until I can get in there and re-glue it in, I just put some painter tape over it. And that'll keep that from losing that little short of material there. Well, so there you go guys, old classic 50-year-old radio, Titan IV, made by Tram. That's going to be a good radio to restore. The condition that it's in, it's just immaculate. Just need to find an original microphone for it, and the microphone that's supposed to come with these is the D104. They were shipped from the factory with the D104, non-amplified. And we don't have one for this. So he'll need to find one of this if he wants to keep everything kind of original. Guys, I hope you like the look of that. But there's more. So at the same time he picked up the Tram, he also picked up this old gem. This is a Cobra 142. GTL base station with the original box. I'm just going to have a little peek at it here, see just what we have in here. Yeah, so there it is, Cobra 142 GTL. First thing you see, the SRF modulation meter is stuck over to one side. Don't know what's up with that. One thing I like, there's no holes been drilled in the front when anybody put them extra channels in. I've seen that done so many times. It looks like no echo board been installed. I've seen those before. They would pull the dynamite and install the echo board in there. It ruins the face of this radio because they have to drill the holes out to get the new switches to work to go in there. Let's come on. You don't hear nothing because the Cobras, you gotta have a microphone plugged in. Hear a little something. The oil can wide open. The 4-spot center. AM. AML's off. We're in the CB mode. We're on channel 20. Yeah, she ain't receiving as good as she should be. That's minus 27 dBm. And you see it doesn't sound right. S meter's not working. Nope. We'll give the transmitter a try. Alright, let's give the microphone a key. Keying them up. Just under 4 watts. Test 1, 2. Audio. Audio. Yeah, that is working. Lower side band. Audio. Audio. That's working. Upper side band. Audio. Check 1, 2. Yeah, it's working. Receiver is down quite a bit, but I'm not sure if anything's ever been done to this thing or just what it is, you know. Alright guys, I decided to go ahead and pull the top off just to look in it. And the radio has been into before. It looks like the needle lights have been replaced at one time. See, somebody put a green one in there, and this one, the wire is broke on it. As you can see, it's a green LED. No, it's a green lamp. Other than that, and the way I noticed that, because they got heat shrink on the wires here, where they clip the wires and just from the original lamps and added more wire from the lamps that we put in. But you know, again, looking at this radio, I don't see any modifications. The modulation limiter is not cranked up. I see all the components in place around it. The MB8719 chip is still looks intact. I don't see anything been modified with that. The original crystal's in place. There's no extra channels been added to it. So maybe the guy that owned this radio bought it new and until with the tram never done anything to it. You know, maybe just the same deal with this one. So it looks good. Another good radio to restore. Alright guys, there you go. I looked at a couple old classic radios and I know that they do work. And good candidates for restorations. So hope you enjoyed that. We've got some more videos in line. In fact, we're going to be doing a review on the Toxin TC. We're going to be doing a review on the Topton. This is the TC001. It's for Android phone. It's for the Android phone. It's a thermal imaging camera. So we'll be looking at that. This will be the first thermal imaging camera I've had since I've been in this shop. Alright guys, leave your comments down below. If you could hit that like button, it always helps the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps a lot. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.